So I watched Christopher Nolan's new epic, The Odyssey, a couple of days ago, and I've got to say, it's a great movie that kinda gets in its own way. Now, I know a lot of people disagree with this take, and honestly, it's a bit out of character for me. I'm usually the first to defend adaptations that take bold creative liberties, especially when they're adapting a story that's older than fucking most countries on Earth. Reinvention is how stories survive with each generation, but reinvention only works when it reveals something new about the works. And that's where the Odyssey kinda lost me. You see, to start, the original Odyssey by Homer is literally the template for what we now call the hero's journey. Odysseus' story is fantastical and captivating, with mythological elements such as the Cyclops, sirens, Greek gods, witches, and many more.
Island of Sirens.
Oh God, they're hideous!
Woof, woof.
But it's also a story that serves as a testament to human perseverance and resilience. The willingness to endure the impossible to return home to your loved ones. Now, does the movie do any of this right? Undoubtedly, yes.
Yeah, indubitably, yeah.
But I do think that it was one of Christopher Nolan's biggest missed opportunities. His movies are often defined by three main things for me: cinematography, score, and the editing. The cinematography here is pretty insane, to be honest. Watching this movie in IMAX is a spectacle like no other. There are some scenes that, as a horror fan myself even, I found extremely well done and genuinely terrifying. That, coupled with a great score and incredible sound mixing, is about as close to the ultimate cinematic spectacle you can really get.
Somebody get these beggars out of here!
But this is also where my main issue with the movie is. It's so caught up in trying to deliver an incredible spectacle that it doesn't really spend nearly as much time giving that spectacle an emotional purpose. In the original Odyssey, the Cyclops, the sirens, the gods, they all serve to test Odysseus' character. In the movie, however, it often feels more like connective tissue between set pieces. And I think a big reason for that is, well, Nolan's editing. Christopher Nolan's signature fast-paced editing is very much present here, which I honestly expected, but it still made me curious to see how it would fit a story like this. Because this is the kind of story that needs its emotional moments to breathe, more than it needs to constantly remind us why it was filmed in IMAX. And because of that, a lot of the emotional weight never really has a chance to settle. We move on from one breathtaking sequence to the next, rarely stopping long enough to reflect on what any of it actually means for Odysseus and his character arc.
To continue existing in this world. My life is worth living here.
Every challenge is visually spectacular, but very few of them leave a lasting emotional impression. In the original Odyssey, every encounter changes the man. The Cyclops isn't just an action scene, it's a lesson in arrogance. The sirens aren't just another obstacle, they're a test of restraint. Poseidon is a test of impossible odds meeting human resilience. Even the journey into the underworld isn't just there for spectacle, it's a confrontation with death, loss, and the consequences of everything Odysseus has endured. It's a physical manifestation of Odysseus' mortality, the perfect moment for him to reflect, not only as a war leader, but as a human being, on the people who died under his command, and the weight and the shame he has to carry because of it. The cost of war, the burden of leadership, and the endless search to justify the choices he made. Even Calypso isn't just another stop on the journey, she's a temptation to abandon the life he's been fighting to return to. Now, in Nolan's version, all of these moments are still here. They're just so focused on being incredible to watch that they rarely become incredible to reminiscent about. Don't get me wrong, I still think The Odyssey is a great movie. Visually, it's one of the most impressive theatrical experiences I've ever had. Christopher Nolan once again proves why very few directors can make movies on this kind of scale. But it's also why I can't help but feel like it was one of his biggest missed opportunities. Because The Odyssey didn't survive for nearly 3,000 years only because of the fantastical elements. It survived because every one of those moments reveals something about Odysseus. His fears, his flaws, his resilience, his humanity. The monsters were never really the point. Odysseus was. And that's where Nolan adaptations loses me. Not because it changes the story, and not because it takes creative liberties or anything like that, but because it often feels more interested in showing us the journey than understanding the man making it. I walked out of the theater amazed. But a few days later, I realized the movie didn't stick with me the way the book did. Because the original Odyssey uses spectacle to reveal character. Nolan's Odyssey often uses character to reach the next spectacle. And for a story that's endured for nearly 3,000 years, I think that's a shame. Because I can't help but feel that this was Christopher Nolan's own Odyssey. His chance to prove that his filmmaking style could serve a story that demands patience over momentum, reflection over spectacle. And while he certainly conquered the spectacle, I'm not convinced he conquered the journey.